Right now, working for you, new messaging during a wildfire emergency. We are clearing up the confusion over evacuation zones. And dogs poisoned by meth while visiting Dog Beach in Obi. What pet owners need to know. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us here. I'm Netta Irampour. At CBS 8, we are working for you. We're listening to your concerns. We want to investigate your questions and find solutions that matter here in our community. We begin with the growing threat of wildfires across San Diego. We have brought you many breaking news stories as firefighters battle flames all around the county. But some residents say the evacuation orders and warnings have been confusing for them, especially with a new system that uses zone numbers instead of familiar street names. CBS 8's Shannon Handy working for you to explain how this new system works and how to find out which zone you live in.
Years ago, evacuation warnings and orders were issued using street names. These days, it's zones. So how do you know which one you're in? I asked CAL FIRE to explain. As flames climbed up this Ramona hillside Thursday, an alert went out telling people nearby to leave.
It was pretty crazy, and then when I was driving away, I looked in the rearview mirror and all I could see was the flames.
David Brandon works at Demler Brothers, not far from where a burning car ignited the fire. He received the alert on his phone, but admits he was initially confused since it mentioned the zone he was in and not an exact address.
So I called my boss, and eventually they just told me to evacuate, but it was definitely pretty confusing.
We can see the green areas.
CAL FIRE Captain Robert Johnson walked me through how evacuation alerts work. A fire incident commander will first determine what direction the fire is moving and if structures are threatened. If so, they work with the Sheriff's Department to push out an alert via a system used statewide called the Genesis Protect app.
That app is going to provide anyone with the most current up-to-date information on evacuation orders, warnings, as well as road closures. You can set up the push notifications to alert you if you're in an area where there's a fire. It's going to pick up your location and it's going to provide you with those notifications as the alerts go out.
You can also program it to alert you if there's an emergency near specific addresses, so if you're not home, you'll still be notified. But those alerts don't specify addresses impacted, only zones. I asked Captain Johnson to explain why.
It's going to be more effective to push out areas that are effective in zones as opposed to naming off multiple streets or neighborhoods that may be effective.
If you're still unsure, you can zoom into the zone on the app and see the streets it covers. You can also look on the app to figure out your zone before a fire even starts. Either way, Captain Johnson says if you have the Genesis app, you will get automatically notified if you're impacted. If you have the app and need help navigating it, you can go to any CAL FIRE station and someone will help you. Finally, for those who don't have a smartphone, Captain Johnson says you can check fire updates from a computer. And even if that's not accessible, law enforcement will go door to door and make announcements from their vehicles in emergency situations.
The main priority is life safety.
Working for you, Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
Santee voters rejected a tax increase last year that would have funded an expansion of their city's fire services. But with a growing population, city leaders needed to act. The city just opened a temporary fire station at its operations center right off Olive Lane. This $2 million project was paid for using general funds and EMS funds. 3 firefighter paramedics will staff the new location along with an engine relocated from Station 5. Santee responds to more than 10,000 emergency calls each year, and the fire chief says this temporary station will make a difference.
So our goal is to have a response time less than 6 minutes. We see it as something that is going to achieve some immediate goals in response time reduction, but we don't see this as truly what's going to meet the long-term needs of our community and our growing city.
So that one is an interim station. A permanent station, though, would cost the city $21 million. City leaders are pursuing grants. They have not ruled out another ballot measure. Our next story now taking us to Ocean Beach. We are hearing from people there who say their dog got sick, and in one case, a dog died after being exposed to methamphetamine at Dog Beach. CBS 8's Steffi Roche shows us what happened and what all of you pet owners need to know.
One pet owner, Mark Smith, says that last Wednesday he brought his dog Trouble to Ocean Beach's Dog Beach to run around and play. After playing, Smith noticed that his dog was behaving abnormally. That's when he says he took the dog to a vet. The vet came back and he says reported that the dog had meth in its system.
My wife's head is that we're not going to that beach ever again.
This is video of Mark Smith's year-and-a-half-old dog Trouble right before that vet visit last Wednesday.
She was just had this neurotic energy where she's just looking back and forth constantly, and I just couldn't get her to focus.
Smith says he's thankful Trouble survived after tests confirmed methamphetamine poisoning.
We were kind of thinking that drugs were involved just because she was acting so weird. And they did a bunch of tests, blood tests. About $500 later, felt she was okay to go home.
Another dog owner, Brianna Grace, says her 7-year-old dog, Nala, also ingested meth at Dog Beach last Wednesday.
She was running around exploring the dunes a little bit. She was fishing in the river. When it was time to go, about 45 minutes after I got there, she started wigging out, sprinting in circles around me for like probably 40 minutes.
Grace says she then took Nala to a vet where the heartbreaking discovery was made.
They had told me she had meth in her system and that her temperature was 107. It honestly doesn't feel real.
Nala didn't make it.
But I am willing to speak about this to let other pet owners know to be careful with their animals here.
The city of San Diego tells me that reports like these are uncommon, adding that the San Diego Humane Society advises that symptoms of meth ingestion can appear within 30 minutes to a few hours after ingesting. Just some of the symptoms your pet could exhibit include hypertension, vomiting, hyperthermia, muscle twitching, hyperactivity, to name just a few.
Hold your pets close. There are babies.
Meanwhile, if you do suspect that your dog has ingested meth, the San Diego Humane Society encourages you to contact Poison Control or a veterinary emergency clinic. For now, reporting in Ocean Beach, I'm Steffi Roche, CBS 8.
You just feel for those pet owners and poor Nala. Construction is now underway at one of the busiest intersections in Santee. Work is happening at Cuyamaca and Mission Gorge. CBS 8's Vanessa Paz working for you on this to show us what crews are doing here and how long this might impact your commute.
Last week, crews broke ground at the intersection of Cuyamaca and Mission Gorge Road to add a brand new right turn lane, a project that's been in the works since 2013.
I'm excited to see it get going. Obviously, like I said, we've had it on the books and planned for quite some time between, we obviously had to get some right-of-way acquisitions.
Taylor Carrico is the assistant engineer with the city of Santee, helping lead the project.
So this is going to be the new curb line right now. It's up here. And so it's actually coming down. We're going to put in basically 12 feet of new asphalt for drivers to come in, drive and make it right.
She says drivers turning right onto eastbound Mission Gorge from northbound Cuyamaca often have to wait for drivers going straight, bottlenecking traffic and causing headaches. But once this project is done, right turn drivers will be able to bypass that traffic with a 200-foot long lane just for them. Like many city projects, Taylor said it was delayed because of funding.
We've got some regional transportation congestion relief money, some traffic mitigation funding, that kind of stuff.
But the wait to start won't compare to how long they expect it to finish. Taylor says they're aiming to wrap up by December, weather permitting. She adds all lanes and sidewalks will remain open during the day, except for when crews upgrade the corner ramps with truncated domes, another safety feature in the project. And if any lanes do need to close, they'll try to limit that work to overnight. We talked to several locals about the project, some who avoid the intersection altogether because of backups.
I actually don't even get off that exit. I get off on the end of Mission Gorge and drive all the way down because it's faster than trying to make that turn.
Others are thrilled to hear about the new addition.
I mean, this town's really growing and they need more traffic lanes and housing, and when you build up the city, you've got to have more availability for people to travel.
But not everyone agrees it'll make things better.
There's the people out here that really they don't abide the rules on the road, so they don't know how to drive, and that extra lane probably is going to confuse people more.
Access to businesses around the area will not be affected during the construction. Another major project the city is working on is the new Santee Community Center that will be built just north of that intersection. Still ahead, questions in San Carlos about the former home of the old Nicolosi's restaurant. After years of delays, we now know what will soon take its place. Plus, changes to what children are seeing on Instagram, the new standards, and what kids won't see. Welcome back. Right now, frustration is growing for people who live around Balboa Park as the parking gets harder to find. You may have run into this. Several new high-rises are going up in the area, blocking some roads and then taking away parking spots. The city of San Diego just started a storm drain project, and that is also removing dozens more spaces. Many residents worry it'll only get worse come January. That's when the city begins charging for parking in Balboa Park's lots. That'll likely push more cars into their already congested neighborhood.
In the morning, sometimes I come to my car and there's someone already waiting at the end of the street waiting for me to leave. And then I come back 2 hours later and I can't find a place to park.
A city spokesperson says the storm drain project has been in the works for more than 5 years and should be finished by the end of November. The old Nicolosi's restaurant, this is on Navajo Road. It remains vacant, so we're working for you. We've learned the plans for an apartment complex will soon start to take shape right here. CBS 8's Jenny Day has more from the San Carlos area.
The once popular property has now been sitting empty since the business moved to Santee more than 3 years ago. In January, we learned an affordable housing project was in the works, and now we can confirm construction will begin in December. Our investigation shows the application permit initially expired due to financing. Then the LLC transferred ownership, but the property owner, Community Housing Works, tells me the affordable housing project targeting low to extremely low-income families is moving forward. They have already gone through zoning verification and completed environmental reports. By June of 2027, people will be living where the vacant Italian restaurant now stands. Demolition will begin in December, then construction will take about 18 months. It'll be 4 stories high, have 44 units and 58 parking spots. Mission Trails and Patrick Henry High School are nearby.
It's meant for folks with children. It's got a predominance of 2 and 3 bedroom units within. It'll have a computer lab that will be focused on after-school programming provided by our internal staff at CHW. It'll have a singular leasing office, a play area, and really just a place to create community and home.
The San Diego-based developer says they are mission-driven and will also offer health and financial literacy classes. You can expect new driveways, streetlights, and landscaping. As for viewers who first reached out saying graffiti, trash, and weeds had taken over, the property owner says they've been working to keep it in order. Boarding up windows, putting this fence around the perimeter, and the city confirmed that they have been complying with weekly security checks. Again, though, it'll all be torn down in 2 months from now. Working for you in San Carlos, Jenny Day, CBS 8.
And now we know what's to come there. Ooh, Spiny lobster season is here. Why recently developments in the industry means that this is a good time perhaps to indulge. We'll explain. Instagram is rolling out a new policy aimed at protecting kids online. Instagram's teen users will only see content on the app that's similar to what they might see while watching a film with a PG-13 rating. Instagram will hide or limit more mature or sensitive content for those under the age of 18. Things like swear words, risky stunts, and accounts that routinely post adult content. Every teen account will automatically be opted in.
Really what we wanted to do was speak the language of parents. And parents really know and understand movie rating standards. We train artificial intelligence to be able to find and remove the kind of content that a teen shouldn't see, or make sure that they're not seeing content that would be inappropriate for a teen.
Instagram's parent company Meta says parents will have the ability to make these controls even more restrictive if you'd like, but cannot read the conversations that their teens are having on the app. Teenage boys are being flooded with social media content about body image and gender roles, even when they're not looking for it. A new study from Common Sense Media found 68% automatically see this kind of content on their feeds. More than 90% of boys say they see messages about how they should look or dress, and those who see it most often are 4 times more likely to feel pressure to change their appearance. And about 70% regularly come across posts promoting gender roles that could be perceived as problematic, like how guys or girls are supposed to act or look. Lobster season now underway. We recently brought you a story about how prices may drop for lobster. Hungry for a deal, viewers immediately asked us where to go buy it. CBS 8's Abby Black working for you, bringing us her lobster price check.
San Diego's spiny lobster season has started off in a volatile market. I'm here at Catalina Offshore Products, and they are working to keep lobster prices affordable for locals. We're working for you, checking on local lobster prices in fish markets and at the restaurant. Catalina Offshore Products sells thousands of pounds of fish each week. This year, spiny lobster is their way of giving back.
So for us, it was super important to get that back in the hands of locals, and we actually did a sale of $11.99 to everyone this weekend. And we sold out in less than 48 hours, which was really awesome.
Now they're selling for $19.99 a pound. Still the best deal we found around town. Trade tariffs and changing tastes in China have tanked demand. However, Catalina is staying in the game and still exporting to China despite uncertainty over tariffs.
Catalina Offshore alone exported 2,500 pounds last week. Of course, one thing we're facing is the 20% tariff, which is going to end this month, October 31st, and then we'll see if it goes up to 100% or 50%, and we'll kind of go from there.
Last week, another fishmonger told us that the opening rate, what wholesalers pay fishermen, had dropped as low as $7 to $10.50 a pound. This week,
maybe 2-3 pounder.
Catalina Offshore says that they're paying fishermen an opening at $9 a pound, down from as high as $30 in previous years.
Right now, the fishing industry is really hurting in general. This is honestly probably one of the worst years, even in comparison to COVID.
Customer Lyle Van Horn usually dives for his own lobster, but not this year.
For the price that they're at right now, that's well worth it.
They want to go. You can find it on the menu at some of our local seafood restaurants. Let's head into the fish market downtown.
A whole spiny lobster goes for $49, much cheaper than years past.
This year has been fantastic. The supply's been incredible, and it's all staying here locally, which is really exciting for us because it keeps our costs down and we're able to offer it at a better price.
We wanted to know what the going rate was for lobster, so we called around and found that spiny lobsters selling from $19.99 to $31 a pound at local seafood markets. It's devastating for California's third most valuable fishery, but for consumers, this could be your chance to get a taste of local luxury.
Well, everybody wants to eat local, right?
Working for you, Abby Black, CBS 8.
That was Abby Black reporting there. Yeah, a lot of people are interested in the lobsters. Coming up next, burglars counting the days until Halloween. We're going to show you why local police say this is a busy time for criminals.
Burglaries happen all over San Diego. There's threats to life, threats to safety, threats to security involved when it comes to break-ins, and we always want to treat them with the utmost seriousness.
As the sun sets earlier in the day, now thieves are lurking in the shadows. Yeah, our sun sets just a few minutes after 6 these days. So with Halloween just 2 weeks away, the clock's falling back. Experts warn the risk of being burglarized is rising. You don't want to be a victim of that. According to a new analysis of FBI crime data, San Diego actually ranks 15th among U.S. cities most at risk. CBS 8's Abby Black working for you with what you can do so criminals think twice before breaking into your home.
Homeowner who lives here leaves a pair of rugged work boots on the front porch. That way it looks like somebody's home. We're working for you to show you many clever tactics that you can do at home to keep the burglars out.
As we cruise through San Diego neighborhoods, we saw garage doors open, windows cracked. Police say it's enticing enough for thieves to check out.
People walk up, check a little bit of a wiggle, and they can get something like a fork, a knife in it to pop it open, and they are able to get inside.
We talked to Officer Colin Steinbrenner, who tells us the most common mistake that people do.
Just locking a window, because just as simple as people go by and check car doors, they check windows.
But there's more.
If lights are on and it seems like somebody's home, they're not going to think twice about coming in.
Play a radio or make sure that your pet makes their presence known.
We took what Officer Steinbrenner advised and walked through Mark Powell's home to check his security.
They're on sensors.
Police say don't forget to look low.
So also know to secure pet doors. Some people always forget that those doggy doors can fit a person if they really want to get in.
And look up, even if you live in an apartment.
There's ways to get up to second story, third story balconies.
It's true. Here's surveillance video from a previous break-in that we covered where a thief stacked patio furniture to reach a second story balcony.
You should not store your ladder on the side of your house.
We also noticed security cameras. Police recommend that you know how to use them.
Hey, going up to homes where the camera's not charged, or if somebody did get some good video, they're not sure how to share it with us.
Despite San Diego's reported overall crime rate down 6% from last year, searches for how to prevent break-ins have jumped 89%.
When we get closer to Halloween, or even on Halloween night, there's the cover of crowds everywhere, people moving through. Nobody's kind of paying attention to who's doing what. They're all just kind of focused on getting to where they want to go.
If you come home to find your place ransacked, call police immediately. They say that they'll clear your home.
And don't forget about your electronics. So you can track your serial number. Keep it handy. You can find it on the back of your TV.
So they can be returned if recovered. But the biggest protection?
It does pay nowadays to know your neighbors. It opens that communication to where if something is suspicious going on, you don't feel uncomfortable saying like, well, I don't know them.
Working for you, Abby Black, CBS 8.
And now Americans are known to go all out for Halloween, and this year probably won't be any different. According to the National Retail Federation's annual survey, Americans are expected to spend an average of $114 per person this Halloween. That adds up to about $13.1 billion, a record high. Candy is, of course, a popular purchase, with total spending expected to reach $3.9 billion on candy. The survey revealed Americans will also spend more than $4 billion on costumes. Spending on decorations will also exceed $4 billion. We've seen a lot of elaborate ones. Those are really creepy. But yeah, people going all out. A bill signed by Governor Newsom aiming to give California residents some peace of mind when it comes to buying a used car. It allows consumers to have a 3-day cooling off period for used car purchases of $50,000 or less.
You don't have to prove anything, and you don't even have to give an explanation. It's just, I don't want it, I want out of this deal, and the law requires the dealers to give you a refund.
And that is going to do it for us here. Thank you so much for joining us here for your Working For You special. As always, if you have a story idea, email us workingforyou@cbs8.com. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.